Okay, hi guys. This is Taiwo. First of all, I really want to apologize for the delay. I was terribly ill for some time, and I've been having a bit of difficulty getting back on my feet. So I've just been a bit slow with things, right? So now as I explained to some of us earlier, I'll do a lot of refreshing, to get everybody back to the same page. I explained to some of us earlier I would have a kind of orientation. I've done that with some people already, but I'm going to have another one where everybody has the same information. And if you have any questions, you let me know. So, this is an orientation video. Basically, I will tell you about what this program we're going into is. I call it Programming Fundamentals with Python. I'll tell you what we're going to go into. I'll tell you what you should expect and all of that. And there will also be another video alongside this that I will make for to explain Python in kind of a rudimentary sense. So, without much further ado rather, let's begin. Okay, so I go to the corner and that is my slide. All right, so like I said, Python programming fundamentals orientation. Um, Now, I'm sure most of you already know me. Some of you don't. Some of you, I got your number from another friend. Um, my name is Taiwo. As I said earlier, I studied systems engineering in school where I was taught programming for a while. Um, you know, I'm currently a web developer and develop web applications, which is something I find a bit, what's the word now? Mundane. It has become repetitive. So I'm kind of looking for the next big thing, which is probably project management or just something crazy. But like I'm saying, I'm currently a web developer and I've had a number of experience with a number of years of experience with Python. Mostly, I think that's about 3 years. Yes, since 2018. But generally, with programming, it has been since like what year two? That would be about 5 6 years. I'll explain some more in the next slide. So my first encounter with Python programming was back in year two. It was a course requirement. We're supposed to have a course called C# programming. And so I was just, I was at home, there was nothing to do. I had a laptop. I said, okay, you know what, let me just check out what this thing is. And I stumbled upon a course site called edx.org where I found out about Python. And I kid you not, I spent only 2 weeks on that site and I got tired because I wasn't understanding Scott. Well, I understood the first few parts, but then as we got deeper into it, I just got confused. So I stopped it and I just went to school and I never thought I would learn programming after that. But then I got to school and there was this amazing lady that she also finished from her department I think the year before, and she came to try and do something good for us. She was also quite talented. She's also quite talented with programming, and so she came to teach us. And for that session, year two, first semester and second semester, I would say that she really imbibed a lot of fundamental skills as regards programming in me, and that's precisely what I'm trying to do here. Unfortunately, she left, and we're left with for the lack of better words, sadist lecturers. And so programming kind of took a pause until I got into like year five, where I needed to pick it up again. And then I did Python for a short while. I did a game, and I finished school. I started to get like freelancing jobs on Python. And fast forward to today, I'm here. One thing I should probably say that might have been lost in everything I've been saying so far is that I never actually sat down to watch a tutorial video on Python. Like, how people say they want to learn a language and then they register for a course online. I never actually did that. And the reason, okay, I did that back in year, so I think I told you about that EDX, but I didn't understand that. And the reason why that is so is because after the lady explained C sharp to me in year two, she gave me kind of fundamental knowledge. Year five, when I stumbled upon Python, we're told to make an assignment. I'm sure Yoruba people here know what they call Ayo game. We're told to develop an Ayo game with Python, and I didn't know what Python was, but I knew what C sharp was. Now there's something called like I don't know, it's a transferable skill. Like you can learn it in one language and then program in a different language. So that's what I did essentially. I used my rudimentary knowledge of C sharp. It took a bit longer than expected, but you know the ultimate thing was that I did it. And then over the years, I started to learn on the job. And that's essentially the motivation for what we're doing here. I feel like people who are beginners tend to get carried away by what they call they tend to get lost in what we call the tutorial sinkhole, where you're watching tutorials after tutorials and you're not doing anything. So I think that was a major difference for me at year five. I wasn't watching any tutorials anymore. I started to just do, and that was, that was encouraged by the freelancing lifestyle I had. So I would get a job on this today, I'll get a job on different another thing tomorrow, and so I didn't have the luxury of watching only one, like you see 20 videos about one topic. I had to learn on the job, and fast forward to like 2 years later, I stumbled upon Django as well. That's for web development, and I learned. I wouldn't say okay for that. I didn't watch a video. I just read like a 10 part article, so like part 1 to part 10, and I read the article and I built my first Django app. And so essentially, what I'm saying is that for beginners, they tend to get carried away by tutorials where they just watch, and don't do. And that's something that we're trying to correct with this program. So the possibilities for me and you now, people tend to, and this is not no fault of theirs, but oftentimes you might assume that I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. And yes, I guess I am. But I think there's also a kind of I have something to gain from this. Let me put it shortly. I'll explain it in a bit. But for you, many people know that tech is like a gold mine. If you're working in programming or anything related to tech, you'll be like, you can get a job and you can make a lot of money, right? And that is a very, not very, I would say that's a true statement. It's not a lie. Um, you get a good job in a remote company, they pay in USD or in dollars, but because of the forex exchange, you make a lot more money in naira. That's also another good opportunity. You can also make money in Nigeria as well. That's also another good opportunity. The world is currently tending to a digital world where everything is online. So if you're a tech person that could do stuff online, then there's a whole market for you. Essentially, programming provides a lot of opportunity. Now, to be more specific to you guys, when you finish this, the idea of the program is that by the time you're done, you should be able to apply for programming jobs that will pay you substantially good enough money, right? For me, on the other hand, what this will do for me is that it will kind of increase my, for the lack of better words, reputation on my. I mentioned earlier that I'm trying to start a PM career, so I feel like this would be one of those things that I can talk about in the interview. So yeah, you have a lot more to gain than I do, but we're both gaining something from this. So it's also important to me that this is successful as much as it's, or maybe not as much, but it's also important to me. Let me put it that way. So to summarize, really, there are a lot of possibilities of programming for you guys. You learn programming, you can start to do amazing stuff. You can build solutions for people. You can get a job. I've said that over and over again. At this point, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but you get the idea. Now, I think I need to say something very important here. However interesting I might have made all those things sound like getting a job, starting a business that will make millions of dollars. Okay, that's like a far-fetched one, but yeah. However interesting as I've said that, the world of programming is pretty much the same as the world of any other thing, banking, fitness, whatever job you are doing today, whether it's programming or is a banker or is a doctor, to be able to make the best of that career, you need to put your effort. So I'm not telling you in this that okay, this is a quick way to make money. No. In fact, I mentioned earlier that I started learning programming in year two. I mean, I stopped for a while. But if I were to, find an average, like if I were to give an average number of years of learning programming, it would be about 4 years. And I'm one of the lucky ones. So there's a disclaimer that I need to make clear that yeah, I will teach you, I will provide materials for you as much as I can. But you should also know that there is a lot of effort on your part. Now, what I'm doing does not guarantee that when you're done, you will get a job. What I'm doing here is to give you the initial skills you can put together to start building your career in the world of programming. I'm not giving you everything. If I were to give you everything, then we need to be together for like 4 or 5 years. But I'm not giving you everything. I'm giving you just enough for you to stand on your feet and then, push along. So I won't be held responsible if nobody finds a job in the future. Okay? I mean, I should probably have you guys sign something, but I'm kidding. That's not necessary. Just know that you're taking responsibilities for anything that follows from here. Okay, it's not a quick make money quick thing. It's not a invest money and no effort have to go into it. And if you don't put the effort, you won't get any returns. And so, like I said, the objective of our class is to learn the concept behind programming, specifically Python programming. We're also going to familiarize ourselves with the notion of problem solving. Problem solving in the sense that we already kind of do it in our daily lives when we face the challenges and we have to think through how to solve the problem. Um, it's kind of something that is very important in programming, knowing how to solve problems. And along the line, you understand why. But for now, just know that at the end of this class, you should become an avid thinker. You should become somebody who starts to see problems and start to, you don't have to solve it, but you can think of solutions. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Think outside the box, think within the box, think differently, whatever thinking, shall think. You also be able to write Python code. Another thing you'll be able to do is that you'll be able to understand other people's code. You become confident in your ability to learn new languages. So by the time you're learning this, by the time you're done with this, the objective is that by the time in the next few months you want to pick up a different language, a different programming language like C Sharp, you can do it confidently without being scared that, oh my god, I'll be able to do well. Because many people have that doubt that programming is not for them. And I would not say that it is true or false, because you need to run an experiment to find out whether it's true. But I think, like every other thing, it requires effort, and if you put enough effort, you will learn just about anything. So by the time I'm done with this class, you give me your time, you're consistent with it, you put in the effort. I believe that you'll be able to learn any language really. So the structure of the class would need essentially four softwares: Google Classroom, Zoom, WhatsApp, and Google Drive. Now, I recommend that everybody gets a Gmail account. Right now, I think I have virtually everybody's Gmail account. We have about 8 people in the group, or 8 or 9, I think. We'll all introduce ourselves on our very first class, but for now, we have about 8 people in the group. I have most of your emails. I don't have one person. I'll get that later. Make sure you have Google Classroom installed on your laptop, Zoom, WhatsApp, and Google Drive. Now, have it installed both on your laptop and on your phone. And the reason why I say put your laptop on your phone is because if for some reason you're not close to your laptop, you would get notification on your phone, right? So for Google Classroom, that's this first icon here. What that does is that's where I'll provide all of the materials, all of the tasks and everything. It's kind of like a virtual classroom. So that's what we'll be using that for. So if, for instance, I sent a couple of assignments for this week to you, and you get the notification on your phone, you can check on your laptop, whichever. Google Classroom is not necessarily there's no software for the computer. You can install it via your Play Store on your phone, but on the computer, you have to go to classroom.google.com. I will show that after this is done. Zoom is where we're going to be having our virtual meeting. All of the classes we'll be having will be virtual. WhatsApp, I'm going to create a WhatsApp group where I'm going to be sending notifications about updates to the classrooms. If I post a new assignment, I'll let you know in the Google Classroom, in the WhatsApp group. And the Google Drive is basically where all our files will be. So we'll be doing a lot of typing and saving. We'll be creating a lot of files for our programming in the process of this course. And Google Drive is where I'm going to store everything so that everybody can have access to it. Now, I should say this now. Your whatever you submit in this course is not going to be yours. Well, it's yours, but like I have the right to upload it publicly. And I'm not saying that because, if you do something amazing, I can now steal your idea. No. What I mean, but what I'm trying to do here is that I'm going to have a collaborative system such that if for instance there's an assignment, everybody do so and so assignment. Now, when everybody submits the assignment, you would only have access to your own assignment. So I'm going to create a Google Drive link or a Google Drive folder where I'll put everybody's assignment so we can all learn from each other. Okay, I'll explain some more as we move on. So for each week, a new topic will be introduced to the class. I have a syllabus. I think most of you have seen it. I don't have it in this slide, but I think most of you have seen it. There are 11 topics. We'll cover each topic every week. Some topics may require 2 weeks, but the idea is that at the beginning of the week, we would likely start a new topic. So at the beginning of the week, a new topic is introduced to the class. Materials and tasks are uploaded every Sunday to Google Classroom. I'll upload the materials, the videos that you need to watch, the articles that you need to read. I'll upload the assignments, which we'll also call task, that you need to do. Then Q&A sessions will tentatively be on Wednesday, and I say tentatively because it might not be Wednesday. We'll be working a lot with people's schedules. So if people are mostly free on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Thursdays, whichever really, the idea is that we're going to have a Q&A session sometime in the middle of the week. Then tasks are submitted on Saturdays rather. You submit the tasks on Saturdays. There will be deadlines for all of them. Now, when you submit your task, we're going to have a kind of review. So, like, review the assignment. All of you are going to do your assignment in your own way. That's something you would learn as you go along the line. That when you solve a programming problem, many of the times you cannot have two solutions that are the same. Usually, and that's because people think differently. I'll explain more later. But the idea here is that we'll have a variety of solutions. And what we do on Sundays is that we're now going to like have a review of a number of the solutions, which ones were most intelligent or whatever, which one would you recommend, which one would I recommend. I'll probably do my own version of it so that we know we all learn from each other essentially. And then I will now provide all of the code in a Google Drive, like I said earlier, so that you can all collaboratively work together. And what I mean by that is, if, for instance, after I upload the code to the drive, you check out the code and then you see, oh, this code looks nice. I feel like this person did it better. Or maybe your own assignment, you wrote your answer was this long, but then you found somebody who did a shorter thing, and you know, so okay, the person's name will be there, so you would know that you can reach out to the person on the WhatsApp group and say, Alpha, you did this thing so and so way. Can you help me out to explain it? Remember, this is a collaborative effort. There's no competition between each other. Even though there are scores, there's no competition. All right. I'll send mini notifications on the WhatsApp group. So anytime I do a large update on Google Classroom, like if I upload a lot of things at once, I'll just send you a message on WhatsApp group that, okay, so I've uploaded, we'll go and look at it, to let me know what you think and all of that. Now, although this is a free program, yes, I'm not collecting money from anybody. There are still some conditions that you have to meet to successfully complete it. Now, if you are consistently inactive for meetings, you are not available for meetings, you are not available for classes, you are not submitting the assignment, you are being rude or discriminating in the WhatsApp group or really in all of our platforms, then you would likely be kicked off the group. Now, let me explain this well. If you have any questions, remember you can ask. If for any reason, consistently, say for 3 weeks back to back, the first week we had all of this assignment, we had tasks, we had Google Classroom, and you were not there. You didn't do the assignment. The second week, same thing. Third week, same thing. Now, obviously, I wouldn't just kick you out. I'll first of all reach out to you and understand what's going on. Now, if, however, based on the evidence provided, or after conversing with you and we talk, one of the likely solutions is that I'll just delete you from the program. Now, I'm not doing that as a way to spite you, to be clear. I'm not doing that because I hate you or because you vex me or anything. No. Many of the times, if you are being inactive for meetings and classes, it's usually because you have a lot of things that you're doing at the moment. So what I am doing is really just doing you a favor. I'm going to remove one thing from your plate so that you can focus on other things. So if you're a person who has to go to work, you have this side project you're doing, you have hustling and everything, and then you decide to mix this with it as well. Now, if you can somehow handle all of them together, that's great. But if you can't, and I start to see that you're inconsistent, I will just tell you that, so focus on other stuff. When you're done, come back. Now, this is important. You can always come back. I'm not banning you as well. You can come back and say, okay, I have more free time on my hands now. Let's do this now. All right. Now, the last one, rude discrimination, that's obviously a no-brainer. If you're being rude or you're discriminating or you're saying stupid things in the group, I will also kick you off. Okay? And to sum this up, we are not in competition with each other. It's a collaboration. It's a community. We're trying to pull each other up, right? And I didn't tell you guys this, but I have a set of people that I'm currently doing this with, like a previous set of people that I'm doing this with. And We are trying to create that bond between each other so that if somebody has a problem, you can reach out to another person. Essentially, we're all going together. Okay. But like I said before, if for any reason you start to slow us down, I would likely push you out of the group. Okay. Now, thank you for staying with me for the orientation. Please, if you have any questions, let me know. Review this as much as you want. And I'm going to make another video. I'm going to make another video. I'm going to make another video that would explain the rudimentary of Python so that most of you will understand before, you can review the video before we begin our classes. With that said, thank you very much and have a good day.